Okay, looks like we're rolling. Timer is ticking. Okay, cool. Third time is the charm today. Let's see. Alrighty. Roy is first one. Tommy Taylor. Next one. Who's number 3? Okay, well, David is here. Hello, hello. Yep, you made it. Yep. So if you're new, I have a 2-hour live stream 3 times a week. So, hey, Graylin. Hi from Louisiana. Hello, hello. Chris. Hey. Evening. Mike Tubbs is here. Mike is in the house. So if you're new, I have a 2-hour live stream. The first hour is nothing but chat and banter, Bant's stream. Second hour, I start napping. And I don't have anything really planned. Just little pieces, nothing big, I mean. And then I'll try to wrap it up in the last 15 minutes. So I'll nap for like 45 minutes. Hello, hello. Everybody says hello. And yeah, we do that every week, 3 times a week, as long as I don't forget what day it is. I just went to visit family, and it was good. First time I've been to the lake here in Vermont. Well, the lake is actually in New Hampshire, but I hadn't gone to a lake here since I've been here. I've been here over a year. Right, I go down to the river, yes, and I've gone down to rivers, but never the lake. It was fantastic weather today. Roy says, I've been busy making bifaces for earrings, my friend Jack. Earrings, yeah. Jewelry is always a good thing to make because it's a no-brainer for selling. It requires a lot of brains to make the things, but to sell the earrings and sell the jewelry, no-brainer. Yeah, they sell pretty good. But I did some of that, and then I got burnt out. Yeah. I get burnt out because people want specific items, and I said, okay. And then I realized that I can't be doing specific items. I got to do things at random, or they don't get done, or they don't get done on time. Yeah, that's the problem. I can't seem to get them done on time if they're made to spec because I break stuff. Imagine that. So I check my analytics on my channel. I'm trying to improve the reach of the channel. And I got a bunch of new viewers. And those new ones keep coming back. So it's so far so good. But the new ones are not here for napping. Yeah, I don't think. Because I look at what they're watching. And they're watching mostly the new videos that I'm posting. And not many people are watching the live stream. They might watch maybe the first 5 minutes or whatever, and that's it. Let's see. Yeah, getting them to match is a challenge, says Roy. Yeah, definitely. So you got to make a bunch, and then you pick the best ones. I had one person order 3, and then they, a pendant and 2 earrings, little bitty. They said, don't make them too big because it's too heavy and it's too sharp. Okay, so made little ones. Believe it or not, making the little ones all the same size is not as easy as it looks or as you would think. Yeah. Anyway, good thing I didn't have to mount them on the wires or anything. They were going to do the wire thing. Ron is here. Hello, hello. Howdy. Chris says, I wish I just wish there was somewhere local that had good chert. I've got a few pieces that were ballast stones that I've played around on. Yeah, somewhere local. I've had a lot of, not a lot, but a lot of conversation about this, but I've seen people actually move to where the rocks are, pack up everything and move to Beverly, loaded up the truck, moved everything, sold whatever they got, and they moved down to where there was rocks for their retirement. Stylely designs. Yeah. So that usually means moving to Texas or somewhere in Oregon or down in Florida or Georgia or somewhere in Ohio or Indiana where there's lots of stone for free. Yeah. And even if it's not for free, it's cheap if it's local. Usually, people that are selling it don't sell it for much because other people can get it for free and they go, "Why are you charging this much?" Because, I can go down. I mean, it takes me some time, but if I do the calculations, if you charge too much, I can just save money by going now in the same place you go and get it. Yeah, so that's how it works. But there's a growing number of vendors for stone. And if you check Facebook, Facebook actually is probably the best place that I found in general, other than just typing it in. And eBay is kind of sketchy, but you can get some rocks off of eBay. Chris says he's in Georgia, but on the southeast coast. Yeah, you have to go to the northern part of Georgia. I believe that's where the church is. Roy says, I'm in Bellefontaine, Ohio. Yeah, I think Eastern Ohio has the Flint and church. Right? I don't know. I'm not up on that exact locations. Even if I knew the exact locations, I probably wouldn't say the exact locations, but there's a lot of Flint and church in Ohio or in certain parts near the border with other states. Let me think here. There's some places like in Arizona, North Dakota has Knife River Flint, but you got to actually know where the stuff is and then find a place to live or camp out for a while before you can actually get yourself a good amount. Let's see. Here in Vermont, there is church to Knapp, but I got to go north. It's not very far. It's like 3 or 4 hours. 3 hours, and it's still small pieces. Let's see. Netter's Farm is near Flint Ridge Park, Ohio, Jack. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've been invited to that nap-in many times over the past 5 years or so. Because I started attending nap-ins more regularly in the past 5 years. Tried to anyway. Yep, I had to take a break last year because of my dad, but I'm going to try to get traveling again. There's a lot of stuff I want to do around the house. That's the thing. I've got stuff I want to do around the house here. My dad's old house. So, everything's, and then I got a bunch of other projects going on. So I'm going to try to go to Letchworth in August and then Texas, the nap-in Texas. I just got a notice, but I didn't write it down. It's in October, right? Let me just double check because I don't want to give out false information. Don't tell me. I don't know where it is. Okay, there it is. There's a flyer. Okay, open with what? October 9th through 12th. If you need the flyer for the Texas Nap-In, send me your email. My email is jackcrafty2@gmail.com. There's a flyer for the Texas Nap-In. Okay, October 9th through 12th at Richards Park Pavilion in Brady, Texas. Okay, I didn't write a note down because I just got this flyer a couple days ago or yesterday. I am going to this one in October, and I'm hoping I can make it to the one that's in Letchworth, New York in August. I'm hoping I can make that one. It all depends on what I end up doing. Like I have to figure out where I'm going to spend my money this year. Let's see. Mike says that's the first time I've heard Bellefontaine pronounced that way. It's Bellefontaine. I am southwest of Dayton, Ohio, in Preble County. Keith Callahan. Hello, everybody. Kiefer's here. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. You might find me in there in October, says Roy. Awesome. Mike Mason, hey-o, fishing with dad and the nephew right now. Fishing? You still got reception? Lucky. Still got a good connection. All the fishing spots around here, you try to get your phone to work and doesn't work. I do GPS and I'm about to get to a fishing spot and the GPS doesn't work. So where is it? Where is the fishing spot? GPS is all messed up. It's getting better though. GPS, even though I can't get phone reception, somehow the GPS works still in many cases. I guess it saves itself in memory. So even if you don't have reception, you can still get in and out. It's getting better. Like last time I didn't have a problem scouting out places, but I've had problems before. Carlisle Lake, Illinois. Campgrounds work, yeah. If I pronounce something weird, just let me know. Like Bellefontaine. I might be pronouncing that weirdly. So we got an hour to go. Ask questions, post comments and complaints. Do the super chat thing. I could be like other live streamers and say, I'm not going to answer any questions unless it has a super chat. I could do that, but I'm not going to do that. This is enjoyable as it is. I do like doing the live streams. It also gives everybody a chance to see who's been doing these videos. Who is it? You're the one that does the videos? You know, your face doesn't match your voice. I mean, this is all screwed up. And then you're doing weird stuff on the channel. What's this with the assistant? And, you know, you're doing live streams and just chatting. What's up with all this? And you're old. Yeah. I've shocked a lot of people. And don't worry, it's going to get worse. Yep. I got bored with the channel. I don't know. Can you tell? I was about to say, or I almost said that I'm going to reduce my channel participation, myself, down to 1/10 of what I used to do. So like if I was going to do 10 videos a month, I was going to do maybe one video a month. That's it. Yeah. I was getting tired of it. And so I either had to change things up, make it more interesting for myself, because I doubt that I'm making it more interesting for other people, or I'm just going to go down to 10%. Because I got a lot of stuff lined up that I could be doing that's not the channel. Yeah. Bellefontaine is the way they pronounced it. Bellefontaine. I would never have guessed that. Graylin says, like the AI, it's funny to know your thoughts coming from that face. Yeah, but it's not just it's a weird thing. I was thinking about that because I have to think about it every time I want to post something. What I do is I know what I'm going to type out. I know what the information is I want to get out, but I try to translate it into how I think she would say it because I got this personality in my mind for her, right? For my assistant, she's uh, snarky and sarcastic, right? So I try to translate it into what I think she would say. Yeah, it's not how I would say it. In other words, what I type for her is not how I would say it. Yeah, I think it's funny, and I even laugh at it because it's not how I would say it. Let's see. Uh, RW Prime, I haven't watched in a while. How's your dad, your ex, and your kids and Kevin? Oh, that's been a while. Yeah, that has been a while. Okay, so my dad passed away December 4th of last year here in the house. Just kind of declined in health, right? Slowly. He had Parkinson's and dementia and uh, a host of other type of, just muscle atrophy, couldn't move around and that kind of stuff. So uh, he was in hospice care, and I was the health provider. They approved me. I signed out a couple things, and yeah, got trained by some nurses that came every week, like 3 times a week, and they were training me to do this and that and this and that. Okay, fine. All right, cool. Yeah, after a while, you get used to it. It's not fun, but you get used to it. And then I've been divorced for a long time. Okay, you said your ex. My ex is doing fine, as far as I know. And my kids are doing fine. I just, I have message. When I do the messaging thing, I'm talking to my kids or posting something, and we're all in the same group on the messages. So we keep in contact that way. They're all in the South. They're all in Texas, Arkansas, and New Mexico. Yeah. My family is in Texas, Arkansas, and New Mexico, except for the family I have up here. My stepmom's daughters or my stepsisters and all their children are here. I just went to go visit my stepsister and her husband and her daughter. They're vacationing here. They usually live overseas in the UK. Everyone's doing well. Yeah. And I'm just enjoying the hermit life. I have no plans of getting remarried. Nope. Not at all. And I think I am enjoying the hermit life, although it does get I get claustrophobic in here. I get stir crazy. Like, what do I need to do? I try to go outside as much as possible. I did buy a bicycle. That helps. And then try to do some more stuff with YouTube. So I'm learning, in addition to everything else I'm trying to do on the side, I'm trying to learn how to do the AI thing and video editing. Okay, so I have access to AI in terms of producing, artificial characters like my assistant, right? AI generated assistant, and then AI itself, where you can ask questions and do research and write books and then have it evaluate your writing and then all kinds of stuff. So that's good. But now I've got to learn a video editing to splice pieces together and do edited videos and do better thumbnails and pay attention more to the properties of YouTube and what the audiences like and what do they don't like, that kind of thing. So I've been doing that, and I'm learning that YouTube's algorithm is mostly audience driven. So if my audience suddenly says, dude, I don't really want to see too much of the napping because I can watch one of your other thousands of videos, and I just like to hear you chat and talk about stupid stuff and talk smack. Yeah, so do that. And people are coming back for the smack. You're coming back for the smack? Yeah, that's what I'm coming back for. I mean, I've seen the napping 1,000 times. So I'm going, okay, what do I do? If I want to still stay with YouTube and not say, okay, I'm tired of it, I got to do something else. Yeah. Let's see, where am I here? Chris says, I enjoy watching you napping and comments while you nap. Awesome. I'm glad it's Friday and I'm worn out. Ken. Mike says to Ken. Roy says, at Netter's Farm, you can get great quality obsidian for $1 a pound. But it's like $10 per person a fee to get access there. It's well worth it, my friend. Wow. Interesting. I got a bunch of obsidian, though. That's not what I'm... If I had to figure out what do I need mostly, I don't really need stone for myself, but I've got stuff I need to be doing and finishing up that requires big pieces. It's driving me nuts. So that's what I'm working on. Once I get those out of the way, I was supposed to have those done by last November because I took them on in the summer of last year. It's been a year for many of these people have been waiting a year for their items. And I have to get this size and that size of these pieces of things. And I've ordered all kinds of stuff lately. Just to, as an example, right? I'm trying to get certain things done for certain people. Maybe I get $150, but I've spent over $600 looking for the materials and trying to get it correct, as an example. So side projects don't make me money. No. I can do work on the side that makes money, but what I do is I produce a lot of stuff at random and then tell people what I've got by email and then let them choose what they want from that. But I can't do it to order and make money. I lose money every time I make something to order or someone says, can you make me this or that? I lose money. It's either in terms of trying to find the material to make it, or I put something else off that I could have made money on. So if you want to be a professional napper, I used to think that you can build stuff or make stuff for the customer when the customer wants it, but it doesn't work that way. At least not for me, I found out. I used to try to do that because people weren't expecting much when I first started. They just wanted a few hunting points. And I said, okay. And that was easy, so to speak. But now that they can see, and now that I know I can make others bigger and better and more pretty type stuff, they ask for certain things. And yeah, I can make it. And I say, yeah, I'll do it. And then it comes down to, well, my first attempt, I had to rush it because I got to do videos and I got to do other things as well. So I rushed it and I broke it, or I rushed it and it didn't come out to the right size. You know, the length or it's not symmetrical or something happened. It's just, I end up messing it up in some way. I say 1 out of 4 of my projects get messed up. So I can usually get 3 of them out the door, but that 4th one, that's the one that hangs me up and it costs tons of money. Yeah. So even if I made money on the other ones, the money I had to invest in that 4th one, that's a real pain, wipes out all my profit. If that's what I'm after. Usually I just make projects for the fun. But if I want to make money, I found out that I've just got to make them at random and then show people what I've got and then let them pick. Sometimes they don't pick anything. Sometimes they pick everything. Yeah. It's all variable too. It's not only variable in napping, but it's variable in income. YouTube, however, the YouTube channel is steady. That's the only good thing. But doing YouTube burns you out. Yeah. Unless you do fun stuff. What are we talking about? Growing strawberries and stuff? Let me see. What are we doing here? Mike says, Roy, I have all the tools I need to go to Nether's farm, but just have not made the time. Bill Hansen says, a friend told me to put cow manure on my strawberries, so I tried it. I think I'll go back to whipped cream. Nah, that was good. That was good. I see what you did there. I mean, you got me on that one because I'm going, what? I got strawberries growing myself. Does cow manure work pretty good? And all of a sudden, it's a joke. Yeah, you got me. Let's see. Ken says, I've been single for almost 5 years. It's hard getting back into the dating scene at 36. Tinder is weird. I have not gone on Tinder. I don't get on dating apps. I've been divorced since 2015, almost 10 years. And I've had opportunities to get back into the scene or whatever. But every time I think that I'm going to go ahead and make that move or make that decision, it's like, what am I doing? I've got like tons of other stuff that I could be doing. This is going to sabotage me, all the attention I need to give to this person as far as my plans. And I've got to make sure that I at least have something to offer my children. I can't do it. And I don't really want to do it. I had enough. I was married for 26 years. And it frazzled my nerves. I mean, scrambled my brains, frazzled my nerves. You know, I think I would rather have electric shock therapy for 26 years than what happened during that time. So I'm done. Yeah. And it wasn't like abuse or anything. It was just psychological games. Yeah. Fox 3. Hey, Marco. I missed your entrance. I'm 7 minutes late. We've tuned in whilst doing the dishes. Awesome. I had pizza with Marco. That's Fox 3 from the UK. And I'm feeling it. I don't eat carbohydrates. I love pizza. And I had some s'mores too. And right now, I don't know. I put some eye drops so my eyes don't look like I'm stoned, right? I'm buzzing with the carbohydrates. But that was excellent. Thank you very much. And I had everything on it, pizza, right? It had all kinds of vegetables on it. I don't eat vegetables anymore either. I don't eat carbohydrates or vegetables or anything like that. I just eat meat and water. That's what I'm supposed to be eating. Meat, water, salt. But, I'll occasionally I've got raspberries growing in the backyard. I'll eat raspberries. I've got non-alcoholic beer. I'll take a sip of that once in a while. I've got coffee, low acid coffee. The neighbor just said, hey, man, he doesn't talk like that. He says, you can have some of the lettuce we're growing here. I got too much lettuce. So I picked some of that. I'll eat some lettuce. And I'll cheat on the diet. But today I cheated a lot. Chocolate and marshmallows and graham crackers. Man. And then pizza. Holy moly. So if I start to lose consciousness or lose clarity of thought, you know why. Let's see. Bill, you're supposed to do that to the plants before the fruit comes out. Ken says, your commentary is hilarious, Pat. Come for the nap, stay for the yap. Yeah, that's what's happening. But some people I've lost a couple friends, and some people's heads blew up when I introduced my assistant, the AI girl, onto the channel. Because believe it or not, I can produce a video anywhere I want now, and make announcements and put excerpts from my future book into a dialogue box, and then she can read it off better than I can read it. It's very clear. AI is very good at making a clear delivery with the timing that most people can keep up with. Like neurodivergent people like me, our pacing and our choice of words and our pronunciation and stuff is off. So the neurotypicals are going, I can't watch this. You know what I mean? Or he's off his rocker or something's not right. Okay? So that's what's happening. I'm trying to improve the channel, but I've lost some people in the process, and I've gained some people. I've gained a lot more than I've lost. I looked at my analytics just this morning to see, did I lose more than I gained? No, I've gained like 10 times more than I've lost. Surprising. Like, maybe some of this stuff works. The recommendations that YouTube tells me to do, maybe some of that works. But now I've got to figure out what are they looking for? Do I got to do more of this character stuff? Do I have to do more chatting? Because socializing is okay here when I'm in front of the camera, but if I meet with people in groups, I shut down. Basically, I just kind of shut down and I withdraw, and I'm in my own space. When I'm in a crowd, I don't communicate with people. Or if I'm with more than 3 people, forget it. I just start shutting down and watch people, or just kind of drift off into my own thoughts. But here in front of the camera, there's nobody here except the comments, and that's fine with me. Yeah. Everything's cool. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out what people are looking for. And a lot of the people, they don't stick around. They just, have a feeling they say, wait a second, I wandered into the weird side of YouTube. So I'm out of here. I just came to check it out, man. I'm out of here. Yeah. There's a lot of people like that, but some people are returning. I mean, most of the new guys are returning, which is what YouTube says is good. All right. And it gives you analytics, and it says, congratulations, you had such and such percentage of return viewers. I said, whoa. It's like 90% of people who tuned in the first time are returning. Yeah. Anyways, just to give you an update, see what you think. Give me some comments on that stuff. Mike T, do you have a list of stuff you make? Yeah, Mike can probably send you a list. Tommy Taylor says, I'm face snapping pizza right now. Yeah. I don't need to eat for a week now, the way I'm feeling. Let's see here. Stylely Designs. I've been married 30 years in 1 month and 2 weeks. You're counting it down by the weeks? I don't even know how long I was married in terms of weeks. Yeah. Yeah. Chris Cox says, I enjoy the shorts with Sev. Well, good. There's one upvote. I've gotten several downvotes. And my likes on those, the percentage of the likes, this is the funny part. On the Sev videos, the percentage of the likes is not as high as my other videos. Right? My other videos have their upper 90s as far as likes to dislikes ratio. But the Sev videos, they're like 10% lower than that. Because, I'm getting more dislikes. But the views, the videos that people like are getting less views, and the views that are not so good as far as ratios of likes and dislikes are getting a lot more views. How does that work? Yeah, the videos I'm getting dislikes on are the ones that are doing the best right now. My 3 top videos are all Sev videos. 70, that's her name. My 3 top videos so far in the past month have been those videos. Let me see. I'm working on a website. Mike says, I'm working on a website right now. I actually got 2 items on eBay yesterday. The large 2 1/4 inch boppers. Ralph says, hello, Patrick, you stinky grandpa. And notice all the skunk emojis. Yeah. He's making fun of me because I feed the skunks out front of the house. Yeah. I come around every night, right? Like clockwork, And I got now a squirrel called Sideswipe coming around eating the food as well. And I got him addicted to granola bars. I got the squirrel addicted to granola bars. So every night, just before sundown, he comes out and he just stands there out in front. And I can walk outside and sit down and he's just still standing there. Okay, I'm waiting. And I just throw a granola bar. He knows right away. He used to go, "What was that?" And then look around and didn't do anything about it until I left. And then he'd search around for it with his nose. But now he's waiting for me to throw the piece out, and he goes right for it, grabs it, and scuttles up the tree and eats it up there, up in the tree. I call him Sideswipe because he has an injury that's healing on his side, like he's been in a fight or something. All right, so question. Awesome. Finally, a question. Keith asks, Patrick, when you use your copper percussion flaker, what size copper rod do you usually use? 3/8 inch diameter. My go-to copper rod is 3/8 inch diameter by 12 inches long to start with. 3/8 inch diameter. I use that for almost everything. The smaller one is 5/16 inch diameter. SC is here. You made it. Hello, hello. Don't forget to hit the like button, says Ralph. Yes, yes. So what I'm planning on doing is member content, members only content. And I have a friend of mine that keeps asking me, but I don't know how to do the members thing. I don't know. And I have another friend ask me the same thing recently. How do you do the member thing? I don't understand it. And I don't have the buttons. I don't have the dang buttons. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you because you're going to be missing out. I will be focusing on members only content because that kind of stuff is going to be in depth. And I know that if I do those videos and they're successful, it won't be a waste of my time. A lot of times I'll make a video that I think is very interesting to people, and it takes me a lot of concentration, effort, and a lot of aggravation, and I don't get any views on it. Okay? At least with members viewing, they're paying for their membership, so I get money automatically from the membership. And hopefully I'll be doing stuff that's interesting for them. So a win-win. I like the win-win. I don't like the win-lose. Yeah. You win, I lose. I don't like that. I don't like you win and I lose. Yeah. Members only, 7 in a bikini. Yeah. She's already said that there's no damn way, dumbass. No, she's not going to do it. See, what I do is I know what I'm going to type out for her to say, but I imagine what she would say, and that's how I type it out. So it's not really the way I would say it. You know what I'm saying? And it makes it funnier, I think. Yeah, if I just type it in like I would say something, I don't think it'd be funny. I just think it'd be like me dressed up as a character. No. I think, see, also I'm going to introduce other, maybe, I was thinking of sock puppets, right? Just brainstorming the other day. But I think I'm going to make more sophisticated puppets because it'll draw younger people into the channel as well. And have funny dialogue, like maybe even a puppet of Kevin, because I miss Kevin, right? And people miss seeing Kevin, so I can even do a puppet of Kevin for the channel once in a while. I can do something like that. That would be fun because it's not always, the nose of the grindstone flintnapping. Yeah. Because I can't just do any kind of flintnapping. I've got to use all of my skills I gathered in the past 15 years to try to produce the best work that I possibly can for the videos. And it's always that level of effort. Yeah. It can burn you out if you got nothing else going on. Let me see. Uh, yeah, I might be able to hand feed the wonder squirrel soon. I think I, but I'm already almost able to hand feed one of the skunks, mangy tail, which is I think he's an older male because he came right up to me the other day and I could see, yeah, his face looks older than the other ones and he's a little bit chunkier and fatter and you can tell he's a little bit more laid back. So I almost hand fed mangy tail, which is the big male skunk. He's getting really fat with a granola bar. He didn't come. I held a granola bar out front, and he didn't come up to me, but I dropped it in front of him, and he ate it right there in front of me. So very soon, mangy tail will be eating out of my hand. I can just give him some. Yeah, but the other ones, they're too skittish. Yeah. Not that I mind. I don't want skunks that close to me all the time because it is kind of dicey, you know. Everyone say hi to everybody because I'm going to start napping at the top of the hour, okay? And I'll nap for 45 minutes, and I'm not going to pay attention to the chat. So now's your chance to ask questions and stuff. And somebody was saying something about members only stuff. The members only stuff is only going to be humorous and technical videos. So there's going to be more of the nap and yap and I don't know, similar stuff. But I'm going to break out my notes that I've been accumulating for years and start doing videos that are in depth as far as reproductions of stuff that is in the archaeological record. Yeah. I've got books on Ishi the Iceman, and I've seen other guys try to do reproductions of his equipment, and they're all off in their measurements. So I'm going to be doing all the measurements on all of his stuff and reproducing everything exactly to the right size and comparing them to normal everyday objects and trying to do stuff out of the authentic materials, that kind of thing, for the in-depth member stuff. But I've got to complete all my back orders first, or let's say 90%, because I can never finish them all because there's always something lingering that I can't finish. So once I get that pushed and done, I can focus on the in-depth videos. But I got to think of something else, right? For the members. People got upset when I started posting memes on the channel. It's like, what are you doing? You're blowing up my news feed, dude. And I only posted 2 things that day. 2 things are blowing up your news feed. Two things in 2 days. So you got 4 things on your news feed and it's blowing it up. You know how many things I get on my news feed every day? I mean, I've got Twitter, X-Twitter. I've got Facebook, which I don't check very often. I don't get many things on that. But I've got the news feed for Twitter because I follow a bunch of people. I get tons of notifications from people on YouTube and Instagram. So my news feed has hundreds every day, hundreds of posts. I mean, literally hundreds of posts. And I'm going through if I really want to check them, and if, which is good. I like getting that many posts to see which ones are good. But if you're complaining about 4, what are you doing? I don't get it. So I'm thinking maybe I should just post the memes for the members and just, But I noticed that those guys that only want 1 item in their news feed per day are like 1% of the 1% of the people who are watching the channel. Very few. But they happen to be the ones that speak up. That's what I'm thinking. Aaron Wilson's here. Hello. When I missed your entrance 3 minutes ago. Yep. Mike says, why am I saying this? But I'm not sure why more people don't use Hammerstones when spalling, especially if you can find free ones instead of spending money on a tool. It's because hammerstones are miserable. That might be free, but you get what you pay for. Yep. As the old saying goes, Mike, you get what you pay for. I'd rather pay for a Mike Tufts bopper any day over a Hammerstone. Why? Because the Hammerstones wear out and they get all crumbly and they might not be good. I mean, one side of the Hammerstone is good, the other side's crud. And you end up hitting with the crud by accident and mess it up. And you go, dang, I wish I had a bopper. Dang Hammerstone. Boppers, you can't get that mixed up. It's a no-brainer. Right? And then you're napping on some really hard chert with the Hammerstone and you break dang Hammerstone in half. I've split Hammerstones in half hitting chert with Hammerstones, especially when people are going, if you just use a soft Hammerstone, you'll be in a whole different ball game of people who know how to nap. See, over here is where you are. You don't know how to nap. But if you use the soft Hammerstones, you're in business. Yeah, I've used soft Hammerstones and totally decimated them. For what purpose? So I can decimate them? So I can have a pile of broken soft Hammerstones? Is that what it is? Is that what makes me an excellent napper? No. I don't know what they're napping, but they're not napping what I'm napping. Yeah, or their Hammerstones are not soft. And they're just lying. Yeah, it's always a possibility. There could be just parroting, parrots that talk about, oh, soft Hammerstones are excellent. What you talking about? Excellent for who? Not for me. Soft Hammerstone for knocking in tent pegs. If you want to put up a tent, yeah, use a soft Hammerstone so you don't ruin your tent peg. But for flint napping, holy moly. Okay. Let's see. SC has been working them Hammerstones. Your Hammerstone X videos are awesome. Thank you. But I don't have Hammerstone X videos. I'll take the compliment, but I don't have Hammerstone X videos. Let's see here. And I've been confused with other people. Yeah. So it might not have been me that you're giving credit to, because I don't deserve any credit for my Hammerstone videos. Mac Bale says, Seb is a great character, getting a bit sassy. Oh, you have no idea. I have another one written up. I don't know if I'm going to, I said I'm not going to post this one. I don't see. I'm thinking that she would say it that way, but I don't know what. I don't know. See, because I wouldn't say it that way. We'll see what happens. I haven't posted that video. We'll see. If I get more like wackos commenting on stuff, I'll post it. Other than that, no. I gotta think about this. I think you should be yourself, says Roy. It's enjoyable to watch you napping. I've just been giving my things I nap to my friends. They like them, and I'm happy to give them. Younger relatives. Yeah. It's always best to give your stuff away. Yeah. I'm trying to learn the professional angle, because if I'm going to write a book on flint napping, I got to know the hobby angle and the professional angle, or I don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know. People already say it. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah. Let's see here. Someone was talking about Kevin. I miss Kevin, my dog. Yeah. Let's see here. Someone else was talking about. Let's see. Where am I? Let's see. I can't find these comments that I thought I saw. Keith says, Ken, I got 2 last week, a 1/4 inch and 5/16, but I might be ordering a 3/8. Yeah, definitely order a 3/8 because it'll not only will it last longer, but it won't bend as much when you're hitting it. Okay, so you guys like my assistant. Good. Let's see. Okay, Ross says, I like Kevin too. He used to wake me up on late napping. Mm. When you started barking and stuff, right? But I couldn't tell exactly who was barking when my dogs would bark in the background on my videos down in Texas. Sometimes it'd be Kevin, but normally it wasn't. It was usually Fozzie, the one that was barking all the time. Prairie Ghost Ken says, I'd like to work on my content too. More editing, more to the point. I'd love to see some bushcraft videos too, like trying a fire drill, making shelters, and that kind of stuff. Yeah. There's already a ton of those videos out there, though. But I'm sure people would watch. People watch new ones from new channels. I mean, new channels that normally don't do those shelters and bushcraft stuff. So I don't know. The thing about bushcraft and building shelters, you just take a look at their settings and their camera equipment. Thousands of dollars invested in producing videos like that. They have basically in YouTube, in the YouTube environment, you have to have thousands of dollars to make thousands of dollars. Or very generous people who don't care what you do on their property. I don't know anyone like that. I do have a couple of friends in the chat that have invited me to go spend time on their properties. Yeah. But I probably can't do anything I want. And I wouldn't want to be that rude. Yeah. And then, show up whenever I have the time and not pay attention to what they might be doing and just show up and do my stuff on my time. Okay? That's how it would have to be, because I got to try to fit it in to within my other activities. So it's got to be on my time. So who's going to do that? Who's going to say, "Oh, he showed up at what? 4:30 in this morning to set up a bunch of stuff?" And he's got stuff in the driveway. He's not blocking it, but he's got stuff there that he brought in on a trailer. Dang. 4:30 in the morning. I heard that, and the dog was barking. Or he stayed overnight out there. It creeped me out because I heard some noises. I thought someone was walking on property trespassing. He told me he was out there, but I didn't think he was going to be out there all night, overnight. I don't want to run into situations like that. So you got to have your own property, which usually involves thousands of dollars in either monthly payments or buying the property or whatever. And then how are you going to bring in all your materials, all the logs and all the stuff? Okay. A lot of these things also take over a year to film. Time lapse, they crunch it all up into one video, but it took them a year to do it. I don't have a year to do one video. It's amazing how much time and effort and money is involved in some of these videos. Of course, they may get their money back, but bang for the buck, the amount of time I spent per week with the amount of money that I get per week is a lot more of a return than I think what they get. Yeah, I'd rather do bang for the buck for sure. Let's see. Ken says, Mike, I like the weight of the 5/8. A handle grip would be perfect. I see. Ken says, I almost always use Hammerstones because that's all I have. Yeah, if that's all you got, then use the Hammerstones. And Hammerstones can be good if you find a sweet one. I've got sweet Hammerstones. I know which ones they are, right? And but they don't last, and I can't get an exact copy of my sweet Hammerstone, so they're gone forever. I remember like 5 years ago, I had a sweet Hammerstone I could nap anything with, and it broke or I lost it, and I couldn't go to a website and buy another one like that because it was just a fluke, And people say, you should just use natural tools. It's easier, cheaper, and way better. And you can make more beautiful points with it. And not only that, you're doing it the right way. Yeah. Okay. I think these people are in a la-la land. Not all of them, but I think a lot of them are. I said Ishi the Iceman? Oh, dang. That sounds like me. Yeah. Noah caught me. I said Ishi the Iceman instead of Utsi. It's Utsi the Iceman. Ishi the Indian and Utsi the Iceman. I'm glad you caught it. Okay? You guys pay attention to what Noah did and do that again. If I did say something wrong, let me know. I want to hear it. Yeah. Inquiring minds want to know. I want to know if I say something wrong. Because I thought that I had said Utsi the Iceman. And I even remember it that way, looking back. Jim Main says, I find a bopper more accurate than Hammerstones. Yeah, definitely. See, with Hammerstones and natural tools, sometimes it's more important to isolate your striking area where you want to hit. So a lot of times when you have to isolate, you knock away much of the edge that you could have just used a continuous platform on, okay, or a continuous striking area. Why does that matter? It matters because you have to start with a larger chunk with natural tools for the most part, unless you do it like I do it, right? How do I do it? I do it in a way that conserves material, first and foremost by using indirect percussion for most of my napping, including the natural tools napping. But I use hard hammerstones when napping so that I can knock off a variety of different flakes, either big flakes or small flakes. I just have to make that mental adjustment, which is not that easy, but you can adjust to a hard hammerstone and be more versatile with it and waste less material and isolate less on the edge than you can with a softer hammerstone or antler or something like that. See, a lot of times when using natural tools, you isolate to increase your accuracy. That's the moral of the story. Because once you isolate that striking area, it's a no-brainer to hit it. Unless you're like me and just blow away that little part sticking out. When I look at an isolated striking area, to me, it just looks like a part sticking out. And it usually gets blown away. Like I'll hit it and it won't do any good. Right? So I use continuous striking areas most of the time, give me a lot of options. So if I blow it away the first hit or whatever, I can just move over and hit it again on the side. Okay. And with a hard hammerstone, I can usually get in there by picking a hard hammerstone that has like little bumps on it that are more narrow than the rest of the stone. Whereas if you have a soft hammerstone and you got a bump on it and you hit with the bump gets shaved off or ground down or pulverized easily. You can't focus your force with a soft hammerstone like you can with a hard hammerstone. Just many examples. That's just a few examples out of many on the use of natural tools. But people will still go, no, I don't accept anything other than my narrative, or I don't accept anything other than my truth. If you disprove my truth, it doesn't affect it. I got a force field. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll just have Sev explain it to you in a better way than I can explain. Yeah. She will not hold back. Anyways, let's see. Where am I? Michigan at the price. Hold on a second. I missed a bunch of stuff. Hey, you made it. Red-Eyed Patriot is here. Yeah, Sev called you a dumbass. Yeah, that's what you get. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Hand axe made with... Okay, 2 years ago, I made a hand axe with a hammerstone. Okay, I got you. SC. I got you. I remember that. Aaron Wilson says, I guarantee if the ancient nappers had access to Mike's boppers, they would have used them. Oh, yeah. Yep, they'd be waiting on his doorstep. Where's the more? Where's more? We need more. Yeah. Where is it? Yeah, they would be sitting there gobbling that stuff up. Just like they were gobbling up all those firearms. Let's see. Ralph Snyder, soft hammerstones? Yeah, there's such things as soft hammerstones. It's crazy, huh? Mac Bill says check marks for Utsi. Yes, yes. I'm going backwards in the chat. I missed a bunch. Aaron Wilson says, I wish I could get a membership. I'm not available with an iPhone, apparently. Now it's got to be available because YouTube is missing out on money. If YouTube's missing out on money, I guarantee they're going to fix it, or it's there somewhere. So they're not going to lose money. Let's see. Okay. Had a bad side and messed up my biface. SC says, that happened to me today. I used the bad side and messed up my biface, a bad side on the Hammerstone. Yeah. Someone's smoking some stuff. Don't be saying that in the chat, although it probably doesn't matter because this is not monetized. But you don't want to admit it, right? Red-Eyed Patriot or Michael, he says, I got an elk antler coming from Colorado. Be here this week sometime. I know whitetail antler is harder, but I look forward to trying it out. Yeah, try it out. If it's got a part of the skull attached, that's going to be the best. Otherwise, elk antler has a very soft interior, and it's best to use the skin of the elk antler for pressure flaking tips on pressure flaking composite tools. What's a composite tool? What is this stuff what's this vocabulary you're using? Don't worry about it. Someone else can tell you. Yeah. Roy says, I found out you can break a lot more points with hammerstones. Yeah. Especially trying to get used to the new one. Like if you got a bunch of hammerstones, you just picked up a bunch of new ones and say, score, I got 12 new hammerstones, and you're sitting there trying to pick the one that's going to work for that particular stone you've got, you're going to break a lot because you're trying to figure out if it's going to work with the stone or if it's compatible. Sometimes it's weird things happen and the hammerstone's not compatible with the stone you're trying to nap. It just doesn't grip right, or it grips too much, or something breaks like on the hammerstone and starts chipping away. But if you have copper, it's extremely adaptive, right? I'm not saying it's perfect, but when you compare the two, it takes a lot more skill to use the natural tools to the same effectiveness as using the metals and other modern equipment. A lot more skill to do the same thing. Yeah. And you can do some amazing things at advanced levels with metals that is very difficult to duplicate with natural tools. Let's see. Do the hammer dance, hammer time. I remember that. That's an interesting idea. Talking about hammer time. Okay. Aaron Wilson says, let's see. Oh, yeah, I read that one already. Let's see. Mike says, Ralph, wait until Seb says soft hammerstone. Yeah, I'm going to start napping here in a minute. I got to figure out what I'm going to start napping. SC says 2 years ago. Okay, I see. I read that one already. Mike says, Ralph, I trade tools for gummies. Okay, I'm going to start napping here in a minute. Let me get down to the end of the chat, see if I missed any questions or whatever. RW Prime says or asks, where do I buy a hardened 3/8 inch 12-inch copper rod? And what was that bopper you mentioned that sounded like you said Mike something? You don't buy hardened you don't buy hardened copper. Don't use hardened copper. Just buy regular copper rods. Yeah, 3/8 inch by 12 inch. They're on eBay. You can just type it in 3/8 inch X 1/2 by 12 inch. Enter. or no, copper rod, and then hit enter, and you'll come up with something. And you just keep looking until you find a reasonable price for 3/8 inch diameter by 12 inch or 16 inch copper rods. Easy peasy. Let's see. Red Eyed Patriot put a link to Mike's page. Mike Tuff says, Ralph may be able to comment more when I'm searching for artifacts. I come across stones with just a few pecks on the edge and they were discarded. Did not like that one, maybe? Yeah. So when I said Mike before and he didn't understand, somebody said, I said Mike something about a tool. It was Mike Tufts, MT, in the chat. If you want to know where to get stuff, just say, hey, Mike T, what's up? I need to get stuff. Just say, Mike T, what's up? I need stuff. What's up? Figure out how to bug me so I can get stuff from you. Yeah. If you're new and you don't know where to get stuff, just type in, hey, people, bug me and sell me stuff. Yeah. Bug me like you wouldn't believe. I'm looking for everything. Just type that in. And you'll get it. I mean, you'll get a response. Yeah. Okay. And if you have a YouTube channel, post a couple things and so people can interact with you. Because if you don't post anything, you don't have a comment section. People get a YouTube channel, but they don't post anything. So they don't have a comment section for people to do commenting back and forth with you. You just need one post and people can comment with you forever in that comment section. It holds thousands of comments. And all you need is one post. And you can even post a photo of your dog and just say, this is my Flintknapping dog. There you go. And then you can interact because YouTube does not have a private messaging system. Because why would it need it with all these comments? These comment spaces that are huge. You can stack thousands and thousands of comments in the comment section. Okay, I'm going to start napping. I think I've got like a piece of alabates that I was thinking I was going to nap the other time. But I didn't get around to it. Right? Let's see. Dun. And this is a heat treat from somewhere. But oh yeah, I was napping the alabates. I did nap some of it. I forgot that I actually had napped it. All right, so scratch that idea. Maybe I'll nap this chunk of Georgia Flint River, coastal plains. I think this is a heat treat. Okay, we'll put that there. And I got another piece of alabates. I don't really feel like napping the alabates. Not because I don't like napping it, it's because I think I might break it. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to break it. See, I got this other piece of alabates thinned down that much, and I got nervous. I said, no, I need to nap this off camera to finish it. I'll nap it on camera if it's a relatively cheap stone. This is not that cheap, but I can get a bunch of this from Jeff Head. Head is his last name. Just the way it sounds, just the way it looks. He's an excellent rock supplier of this Georgia Flint River. Jeff Head on Facebook. If you need any information that I come up with on the live stream and you want more information on it, like, wait a second, what did you say? Just send me an email to jackcrafty2@gmail.com. jackcrafty, the number 2, at gmail.com, and say, hey, you said something about Jeff Head. What was it you said? Or the live stream, you had Flint, you had Georgia River, or you had Yellow Rock. What was that? You can make it as simple as that. I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, and I'll send you information on all this stuff. And you said one time about nap-ons or nickel naps where people get together. What is that? And then you just type it in and ask me by email. and I'll tell you what the nickel naps are. Alrighty? Don't be shy. Yeah. And if I make fun of you, it'll be good for your character. Yeah, you can exercise your ability to forgive. Yeah. Okay? If I make fun of you, if I hurt your feelings, it's time. It'll give you an excuse to exercise your benevolence. Yeah. What's benevolence? I don't know. Go ask somebody. Yeah. Get in the habit of asking. Yeah. The old saying though that asking doesn't hurt is not true though. Ask, but be careful what you ask. Yeah, because asking the wrong thing can get you hurt. Yeah. I mean, believe it or not. Yeah. You know, couldn't hurt to ask unless you die. Can you die from asking? Well, you can die from getting in someone's face. Yeah. So be careful. Mm-hmm. How do I know this? I don't know. I've gotten myself into trouble by asking the wrong thing. Yeah. Thinking I couldn't hurt to ask. Yeah. Gosh, that's some of the worst advice ever. You know, you're thinking that you're getting good advice from people. Like, couldn't hurt to ask. That's one of the worst advice. That's one of the worst things that anyone could ever advise someone. And also stuff like, just do it, even though you don't like doing it. You just got to do it. You know, that's some of the worst advice also. Usually what happens when you do something you don't like, it turns out cruddy. And it's better that you didn't get involved in it because now you got to take the responsibility of the crud. Who made this crud over here? It was me because someone told me that even if I don't like doing it, I'll do it. Yeah, but just crud. Yeah, but see, that's what happens when I do something I don't like. It turns out cruddy. Well, you got to pay for this now. What? Yeah. So there you go. Well, some of the worst advice is to do it even though you don't like doing it. Man, I took so much. I had to learn the hard way on so much advice. And there's so much bad advice in napping. If you're in certain circles, they're not wrong, but if you're in certain circles, the advice you're getting is going to lead you in the wrong direction. And, people are adaptive. They'll figure it out eventually, but you could lose years, months on your flintnapping skill just by listening to the wrong advice. Like what, man? What would I need to hear to make me lose 2 years of napping? What? I don't know what you personally would need to hear to lose that much time. But one thing is, if someone insists that you use natural tools in order to do it, quote unquote, the right way, you're going to lose time. Unless you don't ever want to use modern tools, then you have to use natural tools. But I'm just letting you know that I was one of those guys that started with all natural tools because I figured I need to connect with my ancestors. As an example, I lost a bunch of time, lots of frustration. My kids didn't like me during that time. I was trying to figure out how to be productive, and I was trying to come up with some hobby that didn't cost much. And I lost time. Yeah. I lost frustration. I mean, I gained a lot of frustration, lost a lot of time. As an example, but there's other things in flintnapping. You don't need to go to a nap-in. Yeah, we got plenty of YouTube videos. If you're too far away from napping, You don't need to go. We got YouTube videos. We got these gurus on YouTube. Just listen to them. The best advice is to make sure that you set aside some money to go to nap-ins. You will not regret it. Now, there's one exception. Some people hate being around other people. I'll cut you some slack and say, yeah, you actually need to be by yourself. And you've got YouTube and stuff. In that case, yeah, fine. But in other cases, most people, they get along with everybody, or they're not like irritated to no end when they're around people. Some people just get irritated right away around other people. And it doesn't help anybody, them or the other people. So, yeah, I'll cut you some slack on that one. But you need to go to nap-ins. Yeah, you need to, if there's no issues. Yep. So I'm going to be napping this chunk of Georgia chert. And I got lots of videos on napping cruddy stuff. I call that cruddy stuff because you can get this for free from other nappers that they usually have these little chunky pieces. And I started on these when I was first starting napping. As far as chert, I started on little agate landscaping stones and glass, which I hated. I hated glass at the beginning because of the mess and cutting myself all the time. But yeah, start with free chunks, and you get them from nap-ins. But you can also get them from other nappers sometimes by mail. They'll send you their extras sometimes, or they'll send you the chunks. If you make an arrangement to pay for shipping, that's even better. You have zero money, you're not going to be able to do much for a hobby other than video games, probably. So that's why a lot of guys end up playing video games, because napping does cost money. Yeah. If you want to advance your skills and advance your materials that you are experiencing, some people want to nap everything, which is fine, which is good, but it gets expensive. Let's see, what time is it? I'm going to nap until 9:45 Eastern time. And then I'll wrap it up in the last 15 minutes. I'll try to close out the live stream. So I'll be focusing mainly on this, and I'll be chatting because I'm not going to let the air become dead. No dead air during the live stream, that kind of thing. I'll be chatting, but I won't be looking at the comment section. All right. I'm far away now too from the comment section, so I gotta look like this. And a Red-Eyed Patriot, his name's Michael. He'll be posting stuff. He's the moderator for the comment sections on my live streams. So give Mike a thumbs up and thank you very much. I give Mike a thumbs up and thank you very much. He will post links for you because he's able to do that. I could do that too, but I'm supposed to be not doing it because what size rod? This is 3/8 inch diameter. 3/8 inch, yeah. And the other size rod is 5/16. Hopefully you can tell the difference just by looking at the diameter compared to I always had the same mallet. So compared to the mallet, you should be able to tell what size I'm using. But if not, you can ask. I'm using 3/8 inch tonight. Let's see. All right, here we go. So you do see a big difference in the rods, yeah. The mallet, let's see, how big is it? 10 inches, right? I think. Let me see. This is actually 9 inches, but it could be 10. I mean, I think mine's 9 because this is whatever I had left over from a bunch that I had cut up for other people. It just happened to be 9 inches. Could it be longer? Yeah, I could use an extra inch on that for sure. But I just make doo-doo with what I got in most cases. And I've already adapted to it. Yeah. I think this is a heat treat. So if you don't know what heat treating is, start typing in Jack Crafty heat treat. Get your separate computer, because I know you got 2 computers. Or at least you got a phone and a computer. Get on your computer, type in Jack Crafty heat treat while you're watching the chat on your phone, or vice versa. And look, I've got heat treat videos. If you don't know what it is that I'm saying, type in Jack Crafty. Maybe it'll come up. Or you put in Jack Crafty blah 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 blah. Something, just anything in there, and my videos will start coming up. And you go, hey, wait a second, I never knew you could do that. There's aluminum in that video. I see aluminum. Someone told me that if I use aluminum, I'm a dork. Yeah. Doesn't work. And no one's able to use aluminum. Except that Jack Crafty dude, he's got like 500 videos on using aluminum. But don't look at that. Yeah, don't even look at any of his videos. He's got thousands, but don't look at those, because somehow he uses steel and aluminum and other stupid stuff. You don't want to look at that. Oh, and besides that, not only does he use stupid stuff, he is stupid. Yeah, so just steer clear. That's the Twilight Zone over there. Hey, if you want to steer clear of my channel, steer clear. Yeah, I haven't. In fact, I prefer that if you're not going to be happy, please do me a favor and go somewhere else. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So let's see. How's this going? It's got a little defect. See a little hole. Sometimes the Flint River shirt has holes in it and little inclusions and cracks. Inclusions and cracks. Yeah. So I just gotta keep napping and see if it messes me up or not. It's dicey. Everything's dicey. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay, I am able to read some of the chat. Let's see here. Okay, very good. I see the chat's still going, and we got 37 people. Good. Usually about 10% are going, they're rubbing their ass. What's going on? And they're checking out all the background stuff. Like, what's this? Why does it got that sign on there? It's kind of cheesy there. And look at what's it got in these buckets and baskets and bins? Buckets and baskets and bins. What has he got in there? And they're zooming in on this stuff instead of watching what I'm doing. Yeah. I'll make fun of you guys. Yeah. The normal people are watching how I'm chipping this rock. Yeah. I've seen you other guys checking out what's in the background and looking at my other videos. Yeah. You think I'm not watching you? I got analytics. I can see when you're bouncing around different things on my channel. I can see when you're doing When you think you're being sneaky, the analytics shows me what's going on for the most part. I got to admit, some of you guys can be real sneaky. I don't know what you're looking at. Yeah. I can see what channels you watch too. Yeah. Have you guys been watching those AI Yeti videos where it's actually Bigfoot talking? Right? I mean, that's not actually, it's like an AI version of Bigfoot pasted on top of an actual actor. Like a guy films himself in like a regular video, but then he tells the AI, okay, now put Bigfoot over my image. So now you see Bigfoot talking. Have you guys been watching those? I'm guilty. I've been watching lots of Yeti videos, but not this week. It was like a couple weeks ago. I went through like a phase of nothing but 3 full days. Whenever I was on YouTube, I'd watch these Yeti videos. Oh, Instagram. I was watching them on Instagram, and then now they're moved over to YouTube. Yeah. So this Bigfoot napping, but no, he's doing bushcraft. It's funny as heck, right? You got to see some of those. And there's like 4 or 5 now, and they're popping up. There's 4 or 5 really good Bigfoot and Yeti channels and Instagram channels, whatever. Now there's a bunch of them popping up with different things. Like there's guys that are in the Middle Ages, and characters pasted over the actors. The AI is just putting images over the actors, so you can see guys in Roman times and medieval times and stuff like that, and ancient Greeks doing stuff. John Turner says, I've been loving those Bigfoot videos. As funny as all get out. Yeah, they're hilarious. Have you seen that one where he tromps on ice? It's like the ice ASMR. They make fun of everything. Let's see here. If I start reading the chat again, I won't do the napping. Yeah, so this chunk is getting thinned down, okay? Did you see? Did you miss it? You didn't even know I was napping, did you? Because you're listening on the side. You're driving, you're listening, and you're saying, yeah, I heard tapping and stuff, but I didn't know you were chipping rocks. Yeah, I am chipping rocks while you're driving your truck or whatever. Yeah, and you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm trying to thin this thing down. It was a big chunk, or a fat chunk. It wasn't very big. How big is it? It's let's see, tape measure. It's 2.5 inches long. 2.5 inches, and I'm messing with it. There's some guys that won't mess with anything under 8 inches. Yeah. But yeah, 2.5 inches. You might think that's not even worth working on, dude. You're flint napping on little bitty things. Yeah. What do you think they used to do back in the day? They didn't always work on big stuff back in the day. Yeah. They worked on little bitty stuff too. If you care about that, some people don't care about what they did back in the day, which is fine. Yeah. Everyone's got their own little reasons for flint napping. Perfectly okay. I might make fun of you sometimes, but I'm not saying you shouldn't do it unless I actually specifically say you shouldn't do it. In general, I'm not going to say you shouldn't do it. I'll be specific if that's what I mean to say. Yeah. Who am I to say? Who are you to say, dude, what people should and shouldn't do? Well, apply it to yourself when talking to me. I've had people tell me, blah, you should be doing blah, 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 and not in a friendly way. It's like you should be ashamed of yourself. That's disgusting. Oh, that's junk, or something like that. They're not shy. Yeah. They don't usually last in the comment section. There's probably some that are hate watching. They're watching just so they can see what they can make fun of to other people or something. I don't know. I don't get many comments because I told them if they comment on my channel, they're self-incriminating and they're helping me. Okay, so it's a double win for me. So we get to know who we get to know who those people are, and they're self-incriminating, and they help the algorithm because they're on audience. It's actually increasing my audience. Once they figure that out, they go, "Dang it! If it helps, I'm not commenting at all." Yeah. My bad comments are too valuable to be helping that joker. Yeah. I'm going to take my bad comment somewhere else. Yeah. Please do. Please take your, you know what, somewhere else. There's not many hate watchers. No. My audience is not big enough for that. I'm going to start trying to increase the audience, and you'll see these little nitwits will come up and they'll start commenting, and we'll know. Aha! We know who you are now. We see you, and you might be sneaky and say, "Yeah, this is my third YouTube persona. I've got 6 of them. It's only my third YouTube persona, so you don't know who I am." Yeah, that's true. But we can see a pattern after a while. Yeah. All right. So let me focus on this. All right. Nice. I built up everything just so I could take a flake like that off of there. I wasn't sure if that was going to do it, but that's the goal in many cases. You know, I just work around everything else and then try to get that one spot, that lump taken down, and that did it. So where's the next lump? Right here on this side. And if you watch some of my other videos with a close-up view or a first-person view, you can see it better. Right now you can't, but you can at least see some of the procedure from a different viewpoint. Yeah. If that's what you're looking for. So that other lump near the base, voila. It's still lumpy, but I got to do it little by little. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just taking out the lumps. This is the first stage. It's the easy part. Once it starts getting thin, that's the hard part. I keep saying that over and over again because some people go, "No, I can't do nothing in the first stage." Well, believe me, if you can't do anything in the first stage, you will never be able to do anything in the second stage. Finishing? Yeah. No, I can do finishing as long as it's real thin to start. I can just chip, 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 and then finish it. Okay, fine. I'm talking about thinning. Yeah. The initial stages of thinning are much easier by comparison. And yeah, I can say that in general. And you can even divide labor that way. Back in the day, I bet you they had laborers that would go to the quarry, chip out some stones, especially with these larger civilizations, like in Central America and in Cahokia mounds, and big areas like that. Some of the Pueblo, ancestral Pueblo Indians and stuff like that. When they start building these big societies, they had people going into quarries and quarrying the rock and bringing back bifaces. That level of skill is not as highly developed as the final flaking, especially with a lot of these fancy points. I'm trying to think. I think the entire West Coast was an advanced area as well back in the day. Excuse me. Yeah, there was a lot of Native Americans on the West Coast. Most of them were in Central and South America, but there were pockets of North American area. There were pockets or North American areas where there was a huge population of people, and you can tell by the size of the mounds that they used to make. As an example, you need lots of people to make mounds that big. Oh yes. And they carried dirt on their backs in baskets to build up these mounds. Hundreds and hundreds of people over time just piling up dirt. It doesn't take that long with 1,000 people. But you need 1,000 people. Yeah. And if they're going to be doing that, they can't all be flintnapping. Someone's got to be producing the food, all that kind of good stuff. Doing all the hunting to support these huge mounds, pyramids, these large cleared areas where they would just burn a bunch of stuff down and the habitat would regenerate into something good for livestock, basically. Either bison or deer or some other herd animal could live in those spaces that were cleared, as an example. So, a highly populated area didn't necessarily have to, or didn't always build these big mounds. They may have just altered the terrain in a different way. There are signs of it, where the forest or the grasslands used to be totally different back in the day when the Indians lived there. Different species of plants, different herd animals, different wildlife in general. Maybe the birds migrated into their areas. They don't migrate into those areas anymore. Same with fish. Fish would migrate into those areas. If you're close to the land, you know how to take care of it to attract certain animals or to make other animals go away. You can alter the environment to produce these areas where certain animals come and certain animals go. It includes fish and birds. Yeah. Okay, so I wish I knew more about that kind of stuff, but it's just something else to try to study. I wish I could study everything at once, but the thing is, nowadays we've got access to a lot of that information quickly. The thing that you can't get quickly is skill in flintnapping. That one's you got to sweat that one out. That one has to be developed under literally blood, sweat, and tears. Okay. Yeah, and frustration and anxiety, in addition to all those I just mentioned. I've seen some guys, they start napping and they figure out they can make more money selling rock, and that's what they end up doing. Oh, yeah, I started napping when I was young and stupid. Yeah. Now I just sell the rock, and I can't get enough rock. Yeah. If the moon was made of rock, I'd be up there mining it. I could probably sell the moon in about 10 years. That's how much rock is in demand these days. Believe it or not, the special fancy rocks, the thing that's holding people back is just the shipping cost. Yeah. It's heavy. Now, if it was lightweight, yeah, it'd be a different ball game. But rocks are heavy. I get boxes of rocks in the mail, and people go, "Here, you're getting boxes of rocks, aren't you?" The mailman he was a smart aleck the other day. He says, "You get that's a box of rocks, huh?" I said, "Yeah, that's what it is." And it was kind of banged up, so you could tell he heard the rocks tumbling in there. I said, "Yeah, I chip rocks," and he didn't say anything, but people around me now know that I'm the flint napper. I'm the rock chipper. They can hear me chipping in the shed or in the back, uh, and they'll look. They'll walk by and they'll look to see if I'm in there. They're walking on the street on the sidewalk, but they'll look. Is he chipping back there? What's he making? Hammering away. Yeah, I think they all know by now. Mailman, neighbors, people that ride by on their scooters and bicycles, women with their baby strollers. They all know now. The town I live in is small, but it's highly dense with people. Yeah, we're living right next to each other, and a lot of these houses around me have been converted to apartments. So instead of one family living next door, there's like three on this side, and two or three on this side, and then across the street there's another two families, complete families, two complete families, and maybe another extra just solo renter. So I think there's three people living in, or a capacity to have three different units in both the neighbors there. And then across the street, same thing. And then there's a business directly across from me. Lots of people during the day. And that's not counting the dog walkers and the ladies with strollers and people riding their bikes and scooters. Yeah. What did I see today that was kind of different? Okay. It was some guy with a big old flatbed truck. And the flatbed was huge on the back. I think it was a custom, or I don't know. Anyway, it was going up and down. It looked like the kind of truck that you would use for hay rides or something. Right? So maybe that's what it was being used for. Down the street, because I could hear him come in from all the way down the street up to where my house is and down. I heard him the whole time, and I was like, "What is that?" It just sounds funny, and it was a big old flatbed truck. Yeah, I don't know what makes him sound so loud, or maybe he had a weird engine in it. Anyway, what else do I talk about? I'm going to stop here. It's 9:40, but I'm going to stop napping it, because if I go thinner, it's going to, I risk snapping it. I can pressure flake it from here to a finished state. It's this Georgia chert is nice because it's translucent. And the flaking, I'll show you the flaking. If I can get this light to work. Nope, that way. I got to put it in front of my face or you can't see it clearly. Because the camera focuses on faces. See, this side was pretty consistent. On this side, I had to knock off some big chunks, and I still have some problem areas. Nope, this side. This side right here, for some reason, I kept causing step fracturing. I'm trying to get the shadows correct. No. You can see these things a lot better on my other videos. All right. So yeah, that's the beginning of an arrow point. That was the easy stage. The hard stage is the next one. Yeah. And I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. Because I think what happens is people, they figure if they can thin it there, they can finish it out. No, it's a whole different ballgame. Finishing is whole different from the bifacing. I said, man, if I could just get that, I could finish it out. Yeah, maybe, but usually not. Okay. So yeah, it takes a lot of practice. Okay. And yeah, it can be very satisfying. Yeah, I fuss a lot about it because I want you to know that there is a struggle. It's not just you that's struggling. There is a struggle involved. It's not just you. And some people think it must be just me because I see all these flintnappers enjoying the heck out of it and loving it and saying that it's so beautiful and the material is fantastic and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. They're just hamming it up for the camera. Yep. Yep. They're just saying that. How do I know? I don't know. Maybe I've been doing this for a long time. Maybe I'm watching them. I've seen excellent nappers in person make mistakes and have a hard time with stone and not having a good time at all and just saying, okay, I'm done for today. I broke it 4 pieces, I'm done. And they're excellent nappers. Yeah. And they've been doing it for longer than I have. And they got better personalities and they're neurotypicals. They don't have this autism stuff going on or ADHD or nothing. And they still have challenges. Yeah. Don't feel bad. Okay. Some of you guys don't have any problems at all. I wish that I was like that. Okay. Where am I on the chat? Ed Gould says, who is Sev? Where you been, Ed? All right. Never mind. Ed Gould says, my dog's really smart today. I asked them what's 2 and 2, and they said nothing. 2 minus 2, and they said nothing. Okay. I didn't read that right, so I messed up the joke. Sorry about that, Ed. Do I need these? It kind of works. No, but even if I could see the writing really clear, I probably couldn't read it anyway. So you background guys, are you seeing what's in those? You're not seeing what's in those boxes? Got to zoom in better. I'm not telling you. Okay. Now, if you have questions, we got 15 minutes. Sometimes I ramble on. If I answer a question, sometimes I'll ramble on for days. So it could take me the whole 15 minutes to answer one question. So be quick and ask the question. So maybe you'll get you get first dibs. Well, let's see. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, I'm starting to come down off the carbohydrates. I think that's what that is. I'm going to have a good sleep tonight. Hey, Marty, Buckskin NYB. Hey, Patrick, how's the auction looking for Monday? It's my birthday, so I'm hoping for some nice points. Well, it's going to include some Knife River in that case. Yeah, I didn't have any Knife River lined up for this next auction, but looks like you're in luck. See, you notified me early enough. I'm still going to visit family tomorrow, so the number of items is not going to be that great. But I'll try to include a couple of Knife River Flint pieces. Mike says, actually, Patrick, it was funnier you messing up the jokes than the joke itself. That's good. Yeah. That doesn't help, though. Dwayne Griffin's here. Hello. Good evening. You only got 14 minutes, but I'm glad you made it, Dwayne. You managed to make the live stream. Yes, you did. Awesome. Good to see you. Ken says, if I don't have a UHMW rod for indirect percussion, is there the next best thing? Yeah, antler. Axis deer antler. What is axis deer? What's it look like? How do I know the difference? I'm going to thrift shops and sometimes they have these antler mounts. What is the axis deer? All right, good question. I'm glad you asked it. Well, you didn't ask it? Somehow I read somebody's mind. But yeah, the best thing, if you don't have the plastic UHNW, the axis deer antler has these little bitty veins, and the rest of it's solid. Okay, the next best thing to that would be maybe a moose billet, and then after that it would be white-tailed deer antler billet size thing as the mallet. What's cool about natural tools is they're very versatile in some cases. Like you can use the mallet, use the billet as a mallet, and then nap it like this. And you can also use it when you're hitting the indirect stick. So I've done that before where I'm napping with a billet on the preform. Right? Where's my preform? I put it away. You nap on the preform with the billet, and then you have the indirect percussion flaker that you can hit on with the billet to do the indirect percussion, and then you can go back and forth. Whereas with the plastic, I can't do that. I can, but it doesn't work right. What about artificial material? I don't have axis deer antler. I don't have good whitetail. Steel pipe. Okay, steel pipe. What if you don't like the ding, ding, ding from the steel pipe? Wrap it with, what is it? Shrink wrap tubing, where you put the tubing over the pipe and then you heat it with a heat gun and it'll shrink wraps it. Use shrink wrapped steel pipe. Put shrink tubing over steel pipe as your mallet. Yeah. Or let's see, what else could you use? Remember they used to make these things called nightsticks for police and for riot control. That stuff, I think, is also ultra high molecular weight plastic. Those nightsticks. Yeah. Something like that. Let's see. Dwayne Griffin, I saw that comment. The axis deer antler, does that hole go all the way through? Yes, it does. It goes all the way through the entire antler, but it's only a little small hole. Yeah. Okay. Guys got to get their minds out of the gutter, dudes. All right. Great video. Thank you, Pat. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you think it was good. I'm glad that these live streams are helping some people. Yeah. Harley's not here. Smallzilla. He usually asks me a bunch of questions. You can catch Smallzilla on Reddit. I don't go on Reddit anymore because it drives me nuts. The Flintknapping section I hear is pretty good. And Harley's on there, or Smallzilla. He comes into the chat sometimes, into the comment section. Very good Flintknapping advice and posts. Surprisingly, within Reddit. Jeff Jin, hey Patrick, hey everybody. Glad you can make it. Yeah, you made it before the bell. Small said he was doing something. He was here earlier. Okay, never mind. I thought he missed it totally. But yeah, Small is Smallzilla. Smalls is Smallzilla or Harley. Harley Butler, I think. I can't remember. Anyways, I don't recommend going on Reddit except for the Flintknapping. Okay? Don't get distracted like I do. I go on Reddit, I start getting distracted, and it's just toxic. Yeah. Toxic stuff. That's why I don't recommend it. You can go on there if you want. Let's see. Roy says, thank you. I think a lot of my breaks comes from the geological formation of the rocks. Is it that way with you, Jack? Lots of the breaks. I think a lot of my breaks come from geological formation of the rocks. But yeah, out of inconsistent stone and weird spots in the rocks. Yeah, I don't know about a lot. Let me think about that. It's pretty obvious where the cracks are. I got to think about how many times do I encounter stuff that's bad enough within the stone to cause a catastrophic failure, which means breaking in half, basically. 1 out of 5, maybe. Catastrophic failure due to some kind of defect in the rock. I'm just 20% or 1 out of 5 seems to be a good estimate. That's a high percentage, yeah. And it increases with certain types of rocks and decreases with other types. Yeah. And it also increases with the amount of exposure to the cold and heat changes. Like if you find rocks up north, like around here in Vermont, on the surface, they're going to be messed up. You got to dig, or at least get big ones that have withstood the test of time and the insides are not that bad as far as freeze, cracks, and other weathering effects. That sort of thing. Marty says, the Knife River I sent you is in Pennsylvania, according to the tracking. It should be there this weekend, maybe. Okay, awesome. Ken says, I love the Reddit napping. Lots of great posts, and Smallzilla is an admin, I think, or a main poster. I made a couple of posts, and people were nice. Yeah, Harley or Smallzilla is active on Flintknapping in Reddit. When I first got on the Flintknapping in Reddit, there was hardly anybody there. This was like maybe 15 years ago. No, 10 years ago, maybe. Between 10 and 15 years ago, there was barely anybody on Reddit doing the talking about Flintknapping. Now there seems to be a lot more. Bluegrass Relics is here. Good evening from Kentucky. Enjoying the live chats, Patrick. Very good information here. What are your thoughts on hornstone material? Used to be one of my favorites. No, used to be my favorite hornstone. Indiana hornstone followed by Kentucky hornstone. That used to be my favorite for like, I don't know, 5 years. And I told people on YouTube that if I had nothing but hornstone for the rest of my life, I'd be happy. And related stones, because I think some of the stones near there, like Fort Payne, Chert, and that kind of thing, are similar to hornstone. Also very good if you get the good stuff. It varies. There's bad hornstone and good hornstone, and bad Fort Payne and good Fort Payne. It's good if you get good pieces. Yeah. I know. Thank you, Captain Obvious. I think, let me see. Who is selling hornstone right now? I think I just saw some. can't remember. But if you go on Facebook and then type in Hornstone Flint for napping or Hornstone Rock for napping or whatever, I think it'll come up on Facebook. Let's see. Razor 53 says, first live stream. I watched your videos in the past. Enjoyed your PA column. Thank you. Thank you. The PA column is a Primitive Archer. I used to write for Primitive Archer magazine. Yeah. Until they stopped paying me. Yeah. Buckskin NYB. The rock I sent. Okay. Danny Collins has got to Oklahoma. I sent them at the same time. Bluegrass Relics. Yeah. My favorite material used to be Hornstone. Now it's I switched over to liking the black butter obsidian. So that's what I'm liking right now. It probably could change in the future. But my favorites are the high grades of obsidian that are not transparent. For instance, black butter obsidian. It's like a dacite. And then heat treats, high grade heat treats of any kind. And then all the high grade raw stone like Hornstone, Georgetown, Amoeba chert from Texas, Georgetown from Texas. Some of the other cherts, Flint River chert from Georgia. And there's Esopus chert here up in the Northeast. All their high grade raw cherts are the third. Okay. And everything else after that. It drops way down after that as far as what I like. Blanco E25, hello. Hey, Eric. Good to see you. Ross Wellman, good time tonight. I always have fun. Good night to all the crafty students. Yes, yes. Live stream is over in 2 minutes. Let's see. Red-Eyed Patriot. I want some heat treat black and white novaculite. Yeah, you're not shy about asking. Is it heat treat black by itself and heat treat white novaculite by itself, or mixed together? Because there's stuff that's mixed together, like it's black and white heat treat novaculite. Aaron Wilson says, have a good night. Ed Gould says, I have found some broken artifacts that were made of this light green milky material. Milky? Is it translucent? Got to specify if it's translucent or not. What stream? Great stream as always, says Ken. Always learning something new from you, Pat. Thank you, thank you. That's good to hear. Jim Main says, thanks for the live stream. It's always an awesome time. Thank you, thank you. Yep. It's fun. Not translucent, says Ed. Milky green that's not translucent. Broken artifacts. Yeah, but okay. It's a jasper. Okay, first of all, if it's anything other than green, anything other than tan or gray, such as green, it's probably a jasper. Now, jaspers are called different names according to where you find them, right? So there's that. Cleveland Brewer, what's your favorite billet material for working dacite spalls? My favorite billet material, it's a tie between aluminum and copper for working the spalls on dacite. Yeah. I never use Hammerstones unless I absolutely have to on dacite or obsidian. And when I do use Hammerstones, it's got to be a sweet one because it just crushes the edges. Even soft and hard Hammerstones will crush the edges. So copper or aluminum. Now, some people swear by moose antler on dacite. I've never really tried it because I gave up on moose antlers. They crack too easy, or they chip too easy. Working dacite balls, copper or aluminum. Yes. Okay. Dwayne Griffin says, have a good night. You too, Dwayne. Thank you. Thank you. Michael says, I found a Kirk corner notched made from that, Ed. Okay. Real milky and glassy, light green. Let's see. Mac Bale says, thank you for another great live stream. Always learn some good pointers. Good night. Good night, Mac. I think that's it. Jeremy, what up, nappers? Maybe I should wait a few more minutes and then I'll get more people like Jeremy. It's over, Jeremy. I'm just lingering. And you show up. Yeah. It's over. I'm just lingering here. I'm curious to see who shows up. And also looking at the chat, just in case someone asks a question. Little late. Sorry, had to mow. Yeah. You missed it. All the secrets are now gone. Except if you watch it over. Except if you watch the live stream over again. Luckily, YouTube saves these videos. Yeah. All right. I'm going to say goodnight, guys. All righty. I hope you find out what that is, Ed. He found it in Colorado. It's got to be a jasper. It's still a live stream if you watch later, says Jeremy. Yeah. It looks like a live stream. Some people actually comment on there. Is anybody there? On the recording of the live stream. On the final version, after it's not live anymore, they'll comment thinking that it's a live stream. All right, we'll see you guys later. Next live stream is Monday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. And you go, hey, Google, what time is it my time when it's 6 p.m. Eastern? Then you'll be able to catch. They'll tell you, oh, that's 4 o'clock your time. Okay. Maybe you'll be able to catch it. Maybe you won't. Next live stream is 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Good to see everybody. Good night. And bye-bye.